Welcome to the Metaphysics Hour. This is a short episode about the trickle-down theory. The trickle-down theory simply states that the wealthy and the rich, if they are not heavily taxed, the money that they have will be invested and reinvested into the economy, and that money will trickle down to all other people. The problem with that theory is that it tends not to hold water, so to speak. If you look behind me, you can see the Little Pigeon River. That's trickling, that's moving, that has momentum, that has a flow. However, if you were to think of most wealthy individuals, they hoard. So they dam up the river, and then they create a big fat lake where they are, and then the river is forever changed where they are not. And so I'm going to tell you a couple things that I think would help make the trickle-down theory work. Because the trickle-down theory could also be described as everything's connected theory. And that I certainly do believe and adhere to. So here's the first thing you can do. First thing you can do is you have to be generous. You can't want more and more and more and more and more and more, regardless of how it affects the environment, right? That's greed. That is a obsession. That is sick thinking, wrong thinking, as it were. So if you're generous, that means that you're not just handing away your money. You're actually providing money at near interest-free loans in terms of like, hey, you have a desire to go do this for the world. I'm going to invest in you, and I'm only going to charge you 1 or 2% interest instead of like a credit card, which is like, sure, I'll charge you 26% on your purchases. That's not generous. That is a taxing thing. Now, granted, interest makes sense in the free market. My point is, with high interest, you are not creating a trickle-down effect. You're actually creating a backlog and a stifling of the economy. And this happens on an individual basis, right? So yeah, there's big companies, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, that they do certain things. They'll lend you money, and then if you don't pay it off at a certain time, they're gonna charge you really heavily. But I'm talking about you as an individual. So if you're wealthy, one of the ways that you can make abundance and prosperity spread is that you invest in people. So sure, you might be able to make your money back or a little bit more, but it is actually in a productive means. The derivatives market, the BS that we have in the financial industry right now is so confusing and so dark because there are fundamental assumptions that are wrong that we have been led to believe are right. First, you can't create money out of nothing and then charge interest on that nothing, okay? You can create money out of nothing as long as you don't ever give that nothing worth that's more than nothing, right? So like, think of zero. Zero is zero. 0 times 1 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 3 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. The Federal Reserve takes 0 times 1 billion and then charges 0.025. That's just to the banks that lend from the Federal Reserve. Then the bank takes that thing created out of nothing and is going to charge you 2.9, 3.9 on your car loans, 4.9 to 7.9 or higher on your mortgage loans. And the fundamental problem with that is it was created out of zero. 0 times a gazillion is still 0. So until we get that number straight, the trickle-down theory won't work because we're set up to go uphill. This river is flowing down the mountain, not up the mountain. But that's what our freaking economic system is doing right now. They are trying to flow up the mountain, and that doesn't work. All right, so you gotta be generous, but you have to be intelligent enough to recognize that we're doing it backwards. We're doing it all wrong. So that's why the trickle-down theory or the connected theory doesn't work. It doesn't work if you try to go upstream and force all these water molecules to go up. The natural tendency is to go down. So until we get it through our thick, problematic brains We will never have prosperity and abundance for the majority because we're doing it only for the benefit of the minority. It's simple math, people. 0 times anything is always going to be 0. Hope this was educational. Hope this gives you some insight as to why people want to audit the Fed, why people want to abolish the Fed, why people want to stop having a private banking cartel take all of our money and then lend it to the government at right now 0.025%. Sometimes it's been a lot higher. Sometimes it's been at 0. Sometimes it might go negative. But it's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's like trying to go out into this river and tell all the water molecules to go up the other way. It just won't work. So please, people, whoever you're going to vote for this year, whatever you do with your life, recognize that economics right now has been distorted. And every day we believe in this model as it is, we are contributing to the problem of poverty worldwide. Thanks for tuning in. Visit me at innerhealthtoday.com. Like my Inner Health Today page, my Dream Programs page, and purchase some materials if you want to help me become more prosperous and so therefore more abundant and sharing it with others.